Inventory is rising right across the GTA, and when people hear that, they jump to conclusions. Buyers have all the power. Prices are down, prices are crashing. But none of those are automatically true. If you're planning to buy or sell this year, misunderstanding what rising inventory actually means could cost you time, leverage, or money. So in this video, I'm going to break down what rising inventory, rising supply actually means practically for buyers, sellers, or anyone that's a real estate enthusiast like you. And there's one shift happening right now that most aren't even noticing. Hey, if we've never met before, my name is Varsha and I am a real estate advisor in Guelph in the Greater Toronto Area, and I help people make thoughtful decisions even in changing markets. Now, when we say inventory is rising, we're actually talking about three things: active listings, months of inventory, and the ratio between sales and new listings. Let me make this a little clearer. Months of inventory answers one simple question. If no new homes were to hit the market starting tomorrow, how long would it take to sell the current inventory that's on the market? If we're sitting at 2 months of inventory, that's tight. If we're sitting at 4 to 5 months, that allows for some breathing room. If we're sitting at anything north of 6 months, that's entering buyer's market territory because it can take longer for that inventory to be absorbed. And that's where buyers start gaining actual leverage. I mean, if you were to think about it, say there's 2 seats left when you're booking a flight. You're gonna have to move a little bit quicker in that decision-making process versus if there's 20 available seats on a flight, you're probably going to take a little bit longer to get to that final decision. Looking at prices, the times, layovers, you're gonna take your time making that decision. So inventory doesn't automatically change desire, it changes decision, it changes behavior. What do I mean by sales to new listings ratio? And this is usually the part that most people don't pay a lot of attention to. But simply put, it's out of all of the homes that came to the market this month, how many actually sold. That's the sales to new listings ratio. If 75% of listings are selling, that's a great absorption rate. If only 40 to 50% are being sold, new supply is outpacing the demand. Okay, so that's really when the tone shifts. It's not because the buyers and the desire has left the building. It's simply because buyers can afford to be more selective. Inventory does not crash markets. It exposes the imbalance. So if you're a buyer, how does this rising inventory really benefit your decision-making process? When inventory rises, buyers naturally slow down. Your pace slows down because you have a lot of choice. I mean, if there's 3 homes in your price range, you're probably going to move a little bit quicker to even view them. But sure enough, if there's 15, 20 homes in your price range, and perhaps even in the area, your targeted area, you're going to be a little more selective. You're going to be a little bit slower. You're probably going to go a little deeper before you make that decision. Like, as your selection goes up as a buyer, you negotiate differently. You go for more revisits to the property, bring the family, let's go. And you actually walk away more comfortably. You think there's going to be more inventory hitting the market because you're seeing so much laid out in front of you. And we know calm buyers definitely negotiate differently than emotional and rushed buyers. That's a huge shift. This market is a huge shift from that pressure cooker of a market that we left behind. And that in itself has been a learning experience for a lot of real estate enthusiasts, consumers, buyers, sellers, everybody. Okay, so this leverage that you have as a buyer today, this isn't created by fear, it is created by choice. This has sparked a thought because when people hear leverage, people say if a house is sitting, buyers have leverage. I'm sure you've heard that, but that's only sometimes. See, if everything in a neighborhood sells in 10 days or 2 weeks and another home is sitting for 30 days, that's a signal. But if most homes are taking 40 to 60 days to sell, sitting isn't a weakness. It's the rhythm of that market. So time on the market only creates leverage when it signals an underperformance. Something is not performing to the norm around it in the environment that it's in. That's the only time sitting on the market creates some leverage. And that's misalignment. Now, this is a sticky point because people automatically think rising inventory means prices are dropping, prices are coming down. and they're coming down fast. But the short answer really is not automatically. Prices adjust when supply outperforms demand consistently. Right now, what we're seeing in much of the GTA and much of the GTHA, which is the neighboring cities along that Greater Toronto area, is sales are happening. They're not stopping. Inventory is definitely going up, but it hasn't exploded. Negotiations are returning. Conditions are very much a part of the process. There's breathing room, as there should be, because this is about finding home. And these slower markets, the markets in which you get to make an informed decision, they reward strategy. So if you're buying, preparation is to your benefit. There is no such thing as being over-prepared. Maybe if that stops you from actually taking a step forward, maybe then. But preparation is everything in a market like today. You don't need to rush, but when you see the right home, the right neighborhood, and the right price point, and the right school district, you need to act quickly. Because let me tell you, there are other buyers very similar to you that are thinking and performing and doing all of their strategic planning in the exact same way, and they are ready to pounce when the right home shows up. If you're selling, this is not the time for you to test the market. It is time to get aligned. Your pricing, your presentation, your marketing, your positioning. If there are 15 homes in your immediate vicinity, how are you going to stand out? What is going to attract the right buyer to walk in through your doors? That's truly the way you should be approaching this. So when you hear inventory is rising, don't automatically think it's crashing. Ask instead, are buyers absorbing new supply? Are listings sitting longer than the local norm? Are negotiations increasing because of fear or because of choice? Because those are different markets, and understanding that difference is where your strategy lives. Would you believe that over 90% of you aren't even subscribed to this channel? I'd encourage you to subscribe so I can get this message out and we can grow a much more informed buyer and seller and real estate enthusiast in our Southern Ontario real estate markets. If you want to see how this rising inventory is playing out specifically in Guelph, then you'll want to watch my latest Guelph market update video. I'll see you over there.